Welcome back, incredible language explorers, to English Residence, the show that's your ultimate spark for mastering English with passion, joy, and unstoppable confidence. I'm Danya, your enthusiastic guide, and I'm absolutely buzzing with excitement today because we're diving deep into the powerhouse duo of language learning, listening and speaking. These two skills are like the heartbeat of fluency, working together to transform your English from textbook phrases to vibrant, real world conversations. Whether you're dreaming of chatting effortlessly with native speakers, singing along to your favorite English songs, acing a job interview, or simply expressing yourself with flair, this episode is your comprehensive guide to unlocking the magic of listening and speaking. At English Resonance, we're all about making your English a living, breathing tool for connection. And today, I'm going to walk you through why these skills are absolute game changers, share tons of practical strategies to master them, and sprinkle in plenty of fun to keep you motivated. So grab a notebook, a cozy drink, and let's embark on this thrilling language adventure together. Hit that subscribe button for English Residents to get your weekly dose of tips that'll make your English soar to new heights. Let's start by unpacking why listening and speaking are the absolute core of learning English. Think about how you learned your first language as a child. You didn't dive into grammar rules or memorize vocabulary lists. You listened to the world around you. Parents talking, friends laughing, songs playing on repeat, and you started mimicking those sounds, piecing together words and sentences bit by bit. That's the natural rhythm of language acquisition, and it's just as powerful when you're learning English as an adult. Listening is like opening a window to the soul of English. It exposes you to the rhythm, intonation, and flow of how native speakers actually talk. You hear the way they say gonna instead of going to, or how they use phrases like no way to show surprise. Speaking takes that input and lets you make it your own, turning what you hear into words you can use to share your thoughts, stories, and dreams. Together, listening and speaking create a dynamic cycle that builds fluency faster than any textbook or app alone. Listening feeds your brain with real English, slang, idioms, and sentence patterns, while speaking helps you internalize it, test it, and refine it. It's like learning to dance. Listening is watching the moves, and speaking is stepping onto the dance floor to try them yourself. Let's dive deeper into listening, the foundation of it all. Listening isn't just about hearing words, it's about immersing yourself in the music of English. It's catching the way native speakers stress certain words, like awesome in that was so awesome, or how they blend sounds like wanna for want to. This is where you pick up the nuances that make your English sound natural, not robotic. For example, when you listen to a native speaker, you might notice they say, I'm beat instead of I'm tired, or they use chill out to mean relax. These are the little sparks that light up your conversations. Listening also sharpens your pronunciation. By tuning into how words are spoken, you train your ear to distinguish tricky sounds like ship versus sheep, or bat versus bet. It's like learning to hear the melody of a song before you sing it. Plus, listening is a sneaky way to build vocabulary. You hear a phrase like over the moon in a podcast. And the next day, you're saying, I was over the moon when I got the news. That's the beauty of listening. It's learning without feeling like studying. So, how do you make listening a superpower? The key is to choose content you love so it feels like fun, not work. If you're a music buff, pick English songs and follow along with the lyrics online. Try artists like Taylor Swift or Ed Sheeran for clear, catchy phrases. Love movies or TV shows? Watch an English series like The Office or Stranger Things with subtitles at first, then challenge yourself to turn them off. Podcasts are a gold mine for learners because they're conversational and cover every topic imaginable: travel, food, tech, you name it. Find one that matches your interests and listen for 10 to 15 minutes a day. The trick is to pick content that's just right for your level. If you're a beginner, aim for content where you understand about 60 to 70%. Think kids shows like Peppa Pig or podcasts like Daily Easy English. Intermediate learners can try All Ears English or 6-Minute English by the BBC. Advanced learners can dive into TED Talks, NPR interviews, or YouTube vlogs by creators like Casey Neistat. The goal is to listen actively, not passively. Pause and replay tricky parts. Jot down new words or phrases and guess their meanings from context. For example, if you hear, "This place is a game changer," you might guess it means really amazing based on the tone. Let's make it practical with an example. Imagine you're listening to a travel podcast and the host says, "I was totally blown away by the views in Iceland." You pause, think, "blown away" means really impressed, and write it down. Later, you try it. "The new restaurant in town blew me away." That's active listening, engaging with the language, not just letting it wash over you. Another tip is mimic the speaker's tone and rhythm. If they say, "It was such a vibe," copy how they stress vibe. You can even try shadowing, where you repeat right after the speaker to practice pronunciation and pacing. For instance, listen to a clip from Friends where Rachel says, "I'm so over it," and repeat her tone exactly. This builds muscle memory for your mouth, making English sounds feel natural. Over time, your accent will improve and you'll feel more confident in conversations. Listening is a full-on brain workout, and every minute you invest brings you closer to sounding like a native speaker. Now let's talk about speaking, the moment where you take everything you've absorbed and bring it to life. Speaking is where you shine. It's your chance to express your thoughts, share your stories, and connect with the world. When you speak, you're not just using words, you're making them part of you. Saying a word like fantastic out loud helps it stick in your memory better than reading it. Speaking also reveals gaps in your knowledge. Maybe you want to say, "I'm exhausted," but realize you don't know a natural phrase like, "I'm wiped out." That's a signal to learn it, and it's how you grow. Speaking builds confidence because it forces you to think on your feet, and every sentence you say is a step towards fluency. It's like practicing a sport. The more you play, the better you get. But speaking can feel intimidating, especially if you're worried about mistakes or freezing up. Here's the truth: mistakes are your best teachers. Every time you stumble, you learn something new. Native speakers mess up too. They say, mix up words, and laugh it off. The key is to start small and build momentum. Begin by practicing alone. Describe your day out loud. I woke up, made coffee, and read a book. Record yourself and listen back to hear what sounds smooth and what needs work. You can even narrate your actions as you do them. I'm chopping vegetables for dinner. It smells amazing. This builds fluency without pressure. Then find safe spaces to talk with others. Apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or italki connect you with native speakers who are learning your language, so you're both helping each other. Say, I'm practicing my English. Want to chat about music? Pick topics you're passionate about, like sports or movies, to keep the conversation fun and natural. Let's try a speaking exercise right now. Imagine telling a friend about a place you love. Say out loud, my favorite place is the beach because it's so calming. I love hearing the waves and feeling the breeze. Add a detail. Last time I built a sandcastle and watched the sunset. Keep going. It made me feel so relaxed and happy. This exercise builds fluency because you're thinking in English, not translating from your native language. Try it daily. Describe your breakfast, your plans, or a dream vacation. For example, I had toast and eggs, and I'm planning to meet a friend later. The more you speak, the easier it flows. Another trick is use phrases you've heard while listening. If you caught I'm stoked in a podcast, try it I'm stoked for the concert tonight. This ties your listening and speaking together, creating a powerful learning loop. Let's see how listening and speaking work hand in hand with a real life scenario. Imagine you're preparing for a job interview. You listen to a podcast about interviews, and the host says, always follow up with a thank you email. You note down, follow up, and practice, I'll follow up after the interview. By listening, you learned a new phrase. By speaking, you made it yours. Now you're ready to use it confidently. Or picture this, you're watching a comedy series and a character says, I'm totally wiped out after that hike. You mimic it, then use it. I'm wiped out after studying all day. This cycle of listening, practicing, and using turns new words into habits. Try this challenge. Pick a 5-minute clip from a show or podcast, note 3 new phrases, and use them in a story about your day. For example, I came across a cool cafe, chilled out with a coffee, and felt on top of the world. Let's dive into another example to bring it to life. Say you're planning a weekend with friends. You listen to a vlog where someone says, we hung out at a park and had a blast. You practice. I'm going to hang out with my friends and have a blast. At the park, you try new phrases. This place has such a cool vibe. Later, you tell a friend, we ran out of snacks, but it was so fun. By combining listening and speaking, you're building a natural conversation. You can take it further by shadowing a conversation. Watch a scene from the show like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and repeat after Jake says, that's so cool, cool, cool. Copy his energy and rhythm. This trains your pronunciation and makes you sound more natural. Or try role-playing. Pretend you're ordering at a restaurant in English. Say, can you make it quick? I'm starving. These exercises make speaking feel like play, not pressure. Now, let's tackle some common challenges. What if you don't understand everything you hear? That's okay. Even native speakers miss words in fast conversations. Focus on the main ideas and key phrases. If you're listening to a podcast and catch, "This blew my mind," that's a win, even if you miss the rest. For speaking, don't worry about finding the perfect word. If you can't say exhausted, say very tired. The goal is to communicate, not to be flawless. If you make a mistake, like saying, "I run into my friend," instead of "I ran into my friend," laugh it off and try again. Mistakes are proof you're pushing your limits. Celebrate small wins, like understanding a joke in a movie or saying a full sentence without pausing. These moments show you're growing. Let's explore more strategies to make listening and speaking stick. For listening, mix up your sources to expose yourself to different accents and styles. One day, try a British podcast like The English We Speak. The next, an American YouTube channel. Notice how Brits might say fancy for want, while Americans say wanna. This makes you a versatile listener, ready for any conversation. You can also use apps like Audible for audiobooks or lyrics training for songs to make listening interactive. For speaking, set micro goals. Try using one new phrase a day, like "I'm pumped" or "That's a game changer." Write a sentence with it, say it to a friend, or post it online. Join a 30-day speaking challenge on platforms like Instagram or TikTok, where you record a short video daily. Apps like Elsa Speak or Speechling give feedback on your pronunciation, acting like a personal coach. Let's try another scenario to keep the inspiration flowing. You're listening to a cooking show, and the host says, "This dessert is to die for." You practice. "The cake I made was to die for." Later, you tell a friend, "I tried a new recipe and it was to die for." This loop of listening and speaking builds fluency fast. Or imagine you're learning slang from a movie. You hear "hit me up," and you try it. "Hit me up if you're free tomorrow." You can also create dialogues to practice. Pretend you're at a cafe with a friend. Say, "Hey, great to see you. I was blown away by that new book." Imagine their response and keep going. "Yeah, it's a page turner." This builds your ability to think in English on the spot. Let's add more depth with some advanced tips. For listening, try narrow listening. Pick one topic like travel and listen to multiple sources on it, like podcasts, vlogs, and interviews. This reinforces vocabulary and patterns. For example, you might hear "get around," "check in," and "take off" in different travel contexts, making them easier to remember. For speaking, practice storytelling. Tell a 1-minute story about your day using new phrases, like "I came across a cool shop, grabbed a coffee, and chilled out for hours." Record it and share it with a language partner. You can also use think aloud techniques, like describe your thoughts as you do something, like "I'm making tea, and it smells so good." This builds fluency without needing an audience. Let's address another worry. What if you don't feel shy or stuck? Shyness is normal, but you can overcome it by starting in low-stakes settings. Talk to yourself, your pet, or even a mirror. Join online communities like Reddit/language learning, where you can share voice messages. If you're stuck for words, use fillers like or like to keep going, just as natives do. For example, I was like so excited about the trip. Over time, you'll need fewer fillers as your confidence grows. If you're struggling to understand fast speech, slow the audio using apps like Audacity or YouTube's playback speed feature. This helps you catch every word and build comprehension. Here's another story to tie it together. Imagine you're planning a trip abroad. You listen to a travel vlog that says, "Get around by bike. It's the best way to see the city." You practice. "I'm going to get around by bike." On your trip, you use it. Getting around by bike was amazing. You also hear "take it easy," and you try it. "I'm taking it easy at a cafe today." Later, you tell a friend, "I had a blast exploring, but I ran out of energy by the end." This story is packed with phrases you learned through listening and practiced through speaking, showing how these skills build fluency together. Try this challenge. Listen to a 10-minute clip, pick 5 phrases, and weave them into a story. For example, "I was stoked to find a new park, chilled out by the lake, and felt on top of the world." Let's keep the momentum going with more examples. Say you're watching a TED Talk and the speaker says, "This idea blew my mind." You practice, "Her speech blew my mind." Later, you use it. "The new project at work blew my mind." Or you're listening to a song that says, "I'm falling for you." You try it. "I'm falling for this new hobby." These small steps make English feel like second nature. You can also play with accents to have fun. Try mimicking a British "cheers" or an American "what's up." This builds confidence and makes speaking playful. Another idea: create a phrase bank. Write down 10 phrases you hear each week, like "hit the nail on the head" or "spill the beans," and use them in conversations. This turns listening into a treasure hunt for new expressions. For even more impact, connect listening and speaking to your goals. If you're preparing for a test like IELTS, listen to sample speaking answers and mimic their structure. Like, "I believe technology is beneficial because," then practice your own answers. If you're learning for travel, focus on phrases like "check in," "get around," or "book a table." If you want to sound casual, listen to influencers or vloggers and copy their slang like "totally" or "no biggie." Tailor your practice to what excites you, and it'll feel less like studying and more like living. You can also join conversation clubs, either online or in person. Say, "I'm learning English. Can we talk about your favorite book?" These interactions build fluency and friendships. Let's reflect on the bigger picture. Listening and speaking aren't just skills, they're your bridge to the world. They let you share your ideas, connect with people, and express who you are. Every time you listen to a podcast, you're opening your mind to new ways of saying things. Every time you speak, you're claiming your place in the English-speaking world. It's not about being perfect. It's about being real. So embrace the journey. Laugh at your mistakes, celebrate your progress, and keep going. Try this final challenge. Today, listen to a short clip. Pick 3 phrases and use them in a 1-minute story. Record it, share it with a friend, or post it in the English Resonance community. For example, I was over the moon when I found a new cafe, chilled out with the book, and had a blast. Your stories are what make this community special, and we can't wait to hear them. As we wrap up this episode, let's take a moment to celebrate how far you've come. You've discovered why listening and speaking are the heart of fluency, learned practical ways to practice them, and seen how they work together to make your English shine. You've got tools to listen actively, mimic native speakers, and speak with confidence. Whether you're chatting with friends, preparing for a presentation, or just talking to yourself, you're not just learning English, you're living it, breathing it, and making it a part of who you are. That's the magic of English Resonance. We're here to help you turn your English into a tool for connection, creativity, and joy. So take these strategies and run with them. Listen to a song, a podcast, or a movie today. Speak a sentence out loud, even if it's just to your reflection. Share your progress with a friend, a language partner, or our amazing community. The more you listen and speak, the closer you get to fluency, and I'm cheering you on every step of the way. If this episode lit a spark in you, share it with the friend he's learning English too. Subscribe to English Resonance for more episodes that'll fuel your language journey, and drop us a review to help others find this community. I'm Danya, your biggest cheerleader, and I'm so proud of you. Keep listening, keep speaking, and keep shining. You're absolutely unstoppable. Let's make your next English moment the best one yet.